It's a BlueJay video, and life is good. Absurd inventions that should not exist. Let's just get into it, guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, BlueJay.
This video is sponsored by War Thunder. It's the 6th century BC, ancient Greece, and the inventor Perilos was going to impress the king.
Perilos? Once again, someone I don't know.
Like any good inventor, Perilos recognized a niche that needed to be filled. Tyrants often found themselves with a bunch of prisoners in need of a good old flick on the off switch, and these executions needed to be as horrific as possible to dissuade would-be ne'er-do-wells.
The turrets, yeah. As we see in ancient history, the turrets were wide and just... this is a way you get off easy right here. It could get a lot worse.
So how could one go about burning delinquents alive while making the spectacle fun for the whole family? Perhaps we could burn the criminals inside of something that was much nicer to look at than charring flesh. Well, if we learned anything from Fisher-Price toys, it's that kids love their animals.
Oh no, the brazen bull?
But if we learned anything else, it's also that the bull doesn't go, so after snapping some synapses of his sinister little Satan cerebrum, he invented the brazen bull, a bronze statue of a bull that sits over a fire with just enough space inside for some criminal stew. However, the real human meat and potatoes of the device was in the statue's snoot, an acoustic series of tubes that would convert the screams of the poor and...
This is like the definition of evil right here. Might combat me on this, but I don't care. It is evil. There's a difference between punishment and going too far. This is going too far. This is creating a musical instrument out of the torment of torture of a criminal. Now, you could be like, yeah, well, what if they just killed 100 people? Then could you do this? Still, we gotta be humane, or we're just the same.
Ingredients inside into a sound like the bellows of a bull. With his prototype complete, Perilos pitched his beast to the ruthless King Phalaris of Akragos, claiming the screams of the condemned would bring pleasure to his ears. And I guarantee you, the screams of the damned coming out of this puppy will be sick as hell. No way. Yeah way. Check it. Holy
10 out of 10 stars, BlueJay.
shit, that's awesome!
By the intro.
Guards, put that on a repeat for me. What? Disgusted by Perilos' description of the device, Phalaris tricked Perilos by asking him to demonstrate the horns, locking him inside, and setting fire under—
What? No, we gotta back that up.
What? Disgusted by Perilos' description of the device, Phalaris tricked Perilos by asking him to demonstrate the horns, locking him inside, and setting fire underneath the bull to hear the inventor's quite genuine demonstration. Before getting too medium well, the tyrant's tender heart decided to show mercy, freeing Perilos from the brazen bull.
I guess in any sense of like bright side here, there's not a lot. At least the inventor knows what he has invented to the utmost amount that he could have known.
And throwing him off a cliff.
Oh, never mind. He don't know anymore.
The tale of the brazen bull is difficult to verify, and very well could have been more legend than fact. However, the lessons it teaches are all too real. Now, Jeff, tell me, what was Perilos' biggest mistake here? Whoa, dude, this edible's really kicking in. That's right, he didn't file for a patent. A patent would have given Perilos intellectual property over his brazen bull, and thus make it illegal for third parties, like the king, to use his device without his permission. In short, if you're gonna deal with devils, make sure you do it in their language. The letter of the law. The light of redemption shines upon my face from above. I climb as my mortal shadow clings to my soul. Jesus, man, what the fuck did you take? Here. Hell yeah, now it's a party. Dude, no, it's water. God, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think I'm just gonna let you sit this one out and rest. Ain't no rest for the wicked. Anyway, for
It's a good song.
inventors around the
Tesla.
world, patents are the must-have piece of paper for granting them ownership over whatever gadgets or gizmos they can puke out of their imaginations. However, even if they existed around the time of Perilos, you're unlikely to be able to patent something as overtly unethical as a human crock.
When did patents become a thing? Like, when did patent? Because in my ideas, in my mind, patents become a thing like, I don't know, Probably like the Age of Enlightenment or something like that. I'm not sure if they existed in a like a record keeping way with like government enforcement. Would you even have the foundations to do that? Let me know.
Spot murder statue. But that doesn't mean there's not gray areas. So today, we're gonna learn about the inventors that really pushed the moral envelope and created some of history's most ethical.
A bird, toddler bird cage. Yeah, those things are. Oh, I just don't know why anyone would trust that. I don't care. Why would you trust that?
Questionable patents.
Here we go. Here we go.
Back in 1927. Oh, sorry, that must be my wife. Hey, honey, what's up?
Is that an F-16 or an F-18? Or is that a Harrier? I don't know my jets.
He wants me to talk about her small business. You're married to an F-16? Hey, she's an F-14. War Thunder is the most comprehensive.
Okay, W, but we gotta skip.
In 6 months on PC or console will also receive a bonus pack of premium vehicles, the Eagle of Valor decorator, 100 only signed in California. And now, back to the video. In 1927, there once was a bright mind in California who shared a hobby with yours truly. Punishing naughty boys. Helene Adelaide Shelby was on a mission to solve the problem of the high number of retracted confessions plaguing the criminal justice system. What good was arresting naughty little boys if so many of them evaded being chained up in a cell, Helene thought. Therefore, our hero decided to target this issue at its source, the interrogation room. Questioning culprits with your run-of-the-mill detective was so 1910s fashion after all, so she found herself pondering a question we all have from time to time. What if, instead of a random dude in a button-up threatening them with some measly prison time, the culprits feared for their mortal soul instead?
See, you're gonna get a confession, but it's gonna be, they're gonna tell you what they want to tell you versus, they're gonna tell you what you want to hear in this case. It's such a hard distinguishment in interrogation between getting the truth or getting an answer.
Behold, the future. The suspect, believed to have killed a man in cold blood, nervously inches his way into a dark room, the door slamming shut behind him. The space before him is chillingly empty, save for a single curtain draped over the far wall. His breath catches and heart pounds as chains clink taut, lifting the curtain and revealing his guilt. The skeletal remains of the very man he murdered,
Well, that's interesting.
standing once more before him. A shroud of ominous light radiates from the bloodlusted red light bulbs in his eyes. Wait a minute, light bulb? But before he can question
I mean, let's have some Halloween decorations.
further, his hair stands on end as he suddenly hears a winding, painful churn emanate from the corpse, sounding suspiciously like a tape recorder. It is I, Michael Dahlman. Confess to your crimes. Could I just have a lawyer? Fuck. Helene filed a patent for an apparatus for obtaining criminal confessions and
What the heck? Okay, some people just need to work a 9 to 5. This is so stupid. If this is a real corpse and not this like fabricated material, the stench must have been atrocious. How do you get like permission to do that? This is so like what you'd have to be dealing with an idiot to confess to this.
recording them. In essence, it was a lie detector consisting of a skeleton in a dark room with spooky lighting and red light bulbs for eyes. With a megaphone and film camera in its skull, Helene's goal was to induce a supernatural experience to work upon the suspect's imagination and cause them to spontaneously confess to their crimes.
This sounds like something that would be like in the what was it called, the Twilight Zone? Is that what it's called? The show, the Twilight Zone. I would say this is probably an episode.
And honestly, not a terrible idea.
It's a horrible
After all,
idea.
the fear of supernatural punishment works for Catholic boys in confessional booths, but that was because of a different kind of bone. Now, is it immoral to patent a device whose primary function is essentially psychological torture? Sure, but that's only a problem if you're using it on people. These are criminals. But regardless, there doesn't seem to be any evidence that this was ever actually built and used.
I doubt it. Like, who would sign off on this?
Which is probably a blessing in disguise, as it's pretty much the poster child for a coerced confession. Criminals aren't quite people, as we've learned, but believe it or not, they are still good for one thing. Their bodies. No, I don't just mean the bountiful slave labor they provide for pennies on the dollar in the land of the free, I'm talking about their corpses. With medical schools booming post-American Civil War, the study of anatomy and dissection on cadavers was growing in demand. And if you were one of the up-and-coming surgical students looking to slice and dice in a way that suffice, you needed a steady supply of legal corpses in the form of donors or executed criminals. But unfortunately for them, the demand had begun to outpace the supply for corpses, so
Dang.
oh, it looks like they're shit out of
Why am I saying dang? This is a made-up show.
luck. What's that, Timmy? Oh, sure, go for it. Oh, well, this solves everything. The illicit body snatching
Oh my goodness.
trade was at an all-time high in the late 1800s.
And not just in the United States, obviously, also in the in Great Britain. And this is coupled not just with resurrections, but it's also coupled with grave robbers. And grave robbers, in times of need, would rob graves, and you would have night watches with guns and towers, even in some cemeteries, because of such a crime. So I'm guessing there was a legality, there's a legality, and then there was a line that was drawn between legal and illegal in this case, right?
Providing perfect, albeit slightly decomposed bodies for all your student slicing needs. And so naturally, this also opened a market for the anti-body snatching trade. Enter Philip K. Clover, an Ohio artist who got to work theorizing ways to shoot body snatchers in the foot. What
In the foot.
if I shoot them in the foot? Introducing the coffin torpedo.
Huh?
Patented in 1878, the invention sought to, quote,
We're booby trapping coffins.
prevent the unauthorized resurrection of dead bodies. To do this, an explosive would be rigged underneath the coffin lid with a tripwire, so that when a would-be thief took a gander inside, they'd be met with a mouthful of lead pellets, increasing the body count in the grave. Why bother trying to change a criminal's heart when you can just remove it? Obviously, this would be an excellent deterrent for any aspiring grave robbers. You know, so long as you're careful about when you said it. Hey, it's supposed to be an open casket. Wait! Jeffrey! Said it. Hey, it's supposed to be an open casket. Wait! Jeffrey!
No, not Jeffrey.
No! Hey, it's supposed to be an open
Wait. Is it loaded with two?
casket. Wait! There was also the grave torpedo, patented in 1881, but instead of a 12-gauge makeover hidden inside the coffin lid, this one was pretty much just a landmine buried
Bruh, well, that's not really honoring the dead. That's creating the dead.
above the coffin. A pretty brutal deterrent, only made more fitting by the ominous advertisement for the device stating, "Sleep well, sweet angel, let no fears of ghouls disturb thy rest, for above thy shrouded form lies a torpedo, ready to make minced meat of anyone who attempts to convey you to the pickling vat." A description that comes off a little too
Is that a real description, by the way?
eager for gore, in my opinion, so I wouldn't be surprised if this guy spent many a night hiding in cemeteries to see if his device worked. Yo boy, here they come! So, this is it?
Yeah, I can't believe it. We did it, George. We finally found my father's grave after 10 long years. I'd just about given up hope, but I knew how much he wanted me to have the Peters family locket that he was buried with.
Oh no.
It's been in our family for 145 years after all. Myself and my 8 young children, all under the age of 9, half
Very descriptive and creating a backstory.
of which who have disabilities, will be so
Of course.
thrilled to have this locket back in our family. I'm their only source of support left after the tragic passing of their mother and all of our extended relatives in a series of horrific accidents. They can really use a pick-me-up.
Don't even look.
Up, can you help me pick this up?
It's unclear how widespread these devices were in their time, but there were reported cases of them killing or injuring a number of robbers. However, innovations in
So this is a real thing that really happened. This isn't like that stupid skeleton thing where, we'll see if it works. This actually happened.
refrigeration would soon curb the corpse supply problem, so these devices would be rather short-lived. And good thing they were, because I doubt OSHA would be too fond of having cemetery workers basically stare a live Victorian claymore in the face as they carefully lower it 6 feet into the ground without any sudden movements. But enough about people at the end of their lives. What about the beginning? The wonder of childbirth is said to be one of the most beautiful moments you can ever experience. I don't say that. I find it C tier at best, but maybe we can make it better. Have you ever been giving birth and thought to yourself, not enough G-force? Well, back in the 1960s, George and Charlotte Blonsky sought to spin things up in the baby delivery meta by literally spinning the woman up, submitting a patent for a, quote, apparatus for facilitating the birth of a child by centrifugal force.
What?
Seeking to reverse the decline in both infant and maternal mortality rates, the idea was to strap
But wasn't the infant mortality not that bad in the 60s?
an expectant mother to a table shaped like a foreshadowing crucifix, pull a lever, and then spin the poor woman on the most painful day of her life until the baby pops out into a net. Delivering a baby and giving it its first crib? Now that's what I call killing two birds with one stone. Except the birds are people. And a mother and child. Now, you might imagine the Blonsky couple must have come up with this idea based on their own childbirth experiences.
Probably not.
No, they were childless.
Yeah, that actually that makes sense. That's good context there.
Instead, they got the idea from a zoo, where they watched an elephant spinning around in labor. Wow, nature is beautiful. Sir, do they always do that? What? Oh yeah, like...
He's high.
That's just nature. Supposedly, they were told by the zookeeper that this was something elephants do all the time before giving birth, which, by the way, is just not true. I couldn't confirm.
Yeah, we just needed one anecdotal piece of evidence, and we're just going to create a patent off that. No research, no let's go to Africa and watch how it works in the wild, no reading, let's just do it.
From that anywhere in my research, so that guy was probably just fucking with them. And thank God he did, because it ended up giving me excellent YouTube content. They believed a device like this was necessary because, as they put it, civilized women did not have the musculature present in more primitive women, who had easy and pain-free childbirths. Because what is a 1960s patent without a wee bit of racial undertones? I'm sure there's probably a few concerns going through your minds. Like, what if it doesn't spin fast enough to get the baby out? No, it will. It got up to 7 Gs of force.
This could only hurt. This could only hurt the situation. There's no way they use this. There's no medical hospital that use this. You're not going to tell me that.
For reference, that's as much as Apollo 16 experienced on re-entry of Earth's atmosphere. This would essentially turn your precious newborn into a 54-pound medicine ball desperately pushing to rupture the walls of your womb. Other features include an emergency brake for safety or comedic effect, and a bell to announce the joyous occasion and signal the end of the ride. It's reported that this device was never used, and no babies were born this way.
Obviously.
Although I believe we have evidence that proves otherwise. At the end of the day, the fetus fidget spinner was truly ahead of its time, as I can 100% see this device selling well in our current environment, given some slight modifications. Alright, ma'am, you ready for the happiest day of your life? Yes, I'm just happy this should make the process quick. Not too quick, though. Try to hold on for—
The baby's going out the window. Like, you didn't have to draw a window. You drew a window. There's a reason you drew that window.
For about 27 seconds for me, and aim for black. The father's white. Place your bets, folks, place your bets. Betting ends in 25 seconds. $50 on red, 100 on first 12. It's coming! You better hold it in or I'm charging the payouts to your medical bill. The Wheel of Misfortune
Okay, it didn't happen.
was awarded the Ig Nobel Prize posthumously in 1999, a parody award of the Nobel Prize.
Okay.
Because after all, an idea doesn't have to be good to get a patent, it just has to be new. But I can't imagine there are any ideas going through your head right now, Jeff. Jeff? Oh, I gave you lean. Yeah, that's not gonna help someone who's about to OD. You really shouldn't have drank that. What, he's not gonna use it? Besides, I need his username and password for War Thunder.
What a video. We watch these videos to think life is okay. There's a lot of bad ideas out there. So your life might not be that bad because you're not making one of these dumb ideas. I mean, the grave robber thing, actually, in like 19th century Victorian London or 19th century metropolitan United States, whatever, do it. Do it. Like, I don't care. This seems like a practical way to, the open cassette thing still gets me, but nevertheless, like this is probably the best idea out of all of them. The skeleton one's got to be probably the worst I've ever heard. But then we did this stupid one right here. I don't know, guys. What BlueJay video should we react to next? I think we've done about half of them now. So let me know which one we should do next. You can see which ones we've done, obviously, by going to our channel and searching BlueJay. Or there's a playlist attached as well. Thank you guys so much. Until next time, peace out and bye-bye.